Children, having understood what are the properties of ratio and proportion, that means all the dendos. As I said, I'll keep on saying dendos. So having understood all the dendos, now let's start with sum which says a ratio is given to us. A by B is 5 by 3. Then using the properties, that means we are supposed to make use of dendos. Using the properties, find A plus B by B, first question. Second says A plus B upon A minus B. The third one is saying 2A square plus 3B square upon 2A square minus 3B square. The last one, 3A minus 2B upon 3A plus 2B. Children, we need to solve all the four. Now, if you understand this sum, children, via this sum, I'm going to say everything related to sums which will come, which are based on the properties. That means how to make use of dendos. What should be there, and by applying what to get the final answer. So in this particular sum and few more to come, I shall give everything from my side how to deal with sums which involves properties of ratio proportion. Right? Mainly the dendos. Let's start. Given to me that A by B is 5 by 3. So very first thing is you should be given some kind of ratio, as it is given over here. A by B is 5 by 3. You have to have, in order to find out the values of these four, you have to have some ratio. That's what the question has. A by B is equal to 5 by 3 is given to us. So let's start with that. Solution. A by B is equals to 5 by 3. This is equation number 1. Let me say this is given to me. This is given to me. Right? Question number 1. What is the format? Now, before doing this particular sum, I want you to refresh your concepts. You should be very well aware about all the dendos. If you are not, if you are missing out, refresh your concepts, go back, watch the slide in which I have made you understand all the properties of ratio proportion. It's only after that, please come to this sum, not before that. Right? And those who have already done, let's start then. What do you think so? The first question itself speaks of. The question itself is in what form? The question itself is in the form of componendo. What is componendo? If A by B is equal to C by D, then A plus B by B. Don't you think so? It's A plus B by B. So the form of the question itself is componendo. Question itself is saying and telling us what am I supposed to apply? I'm supposed to apply componendo. So did we decide from our side that I should go for componendo, or we took all the help from the question? We took all the help from the question. In fact, question itself tells everything. Right? So I shall simply say by componendo. By componendo. What? A plus B by B is 5 plus 3 by 3. By componendo, if you want, you can write down we get. By componendo, we get A plus B by B. So it's A plus B by B is 8 by 3. We got the first answer. We got the first answer. A plus B by B is 8 by 3. So what did he do so? We just look at the question. The format of the question was in componendo, and that's the reason we went for componendo. Right? One more thing. Though we don't have this question, but one more thing. What, instead of A plus B, if the question would have been A minus B? Instead of A plus B, say for example, the question was stating me A minus B by B. What should I have gone with? I should have gone with dividendo. As dividendo is nothing but subtraction of denominator from numerator, and addition is componendo. Right, children? So look at the question very carefully. How about the second question? What is the second question trying to say? The question 2 says everything. The question itself says it is in componendo dividendo. A plus B upon A minus B. The question itself speaks that it is in componendo dividendo format. If the question is in componendo dividendo format, we once again say this was my first answer. So let me say this is my first one. This is my second one. Again, we need to write down the ratio. If A by B is equals to 5 by 3. Why am I going for componendo dividendo? Question demands. By componendo dividendo. By componendo and dividendo. No shortcuts, please. A plus B upon A minus B is 5 plus 3 upon 5 minus 3. Answer is 8 by 2. On reducing, you get 4 by 1. On reducing, you get 4 by 1. Therefore, our final answer, a plus b upon a minus b, is nothing but 4 by 1. Any doubt, children? Right? We are done with the second one. I think so now you are very much acquainted with the method, what we are supposed to go with. Third one is all important. Via this, I would like to say many more things. But before that, I want my children to adopt this 4-point theory. Now again, nowhere in no books this 4-point theory is mentioned. I repeat, in no books this 4-point theory is mentioned. This is only my way of taking ratio proportion sums. Right? Mainly when you have sums of this nature, just remember this 4-point theory. Whatever I'm saying, remember by heart it right now. So what are the 4 points? Ratio, power, coefficient, dendo. I hope you know that I shall be keeping on saying dendos. Ratio, power, coefficient, dendos. Once again, ratio, power, coefficient, dendo. Ratio, power, coefficient, dendo. You should not alter these words. By no means. The moment you alter these 4 words, you go wrong. And you accept the way in which I say and you apply it, as I'll be doing it right now, you can solve any sums of this type. Mind you, any sums of these nature. Right? Ratio, power, coefficient, dendo. Ratio, power, coefficient, dendo. I shall start my sum number 3. I shall start my sum number 3. Now what is my sum number 3 saying? And what is our 4-point theory? Ratio. Okay, I need to have ratio. So it's a by b is equals to 5 by 3. I have a ratio. What is 4-point theory? The first point comes as ratio. Second point, power. Now look at the question. Look at the question. The question has a square, b square. A square, b square. Here also a square, b square. So what is the power of the variable a and b, or power of the ratio given to us? Mainly a and b I should talk about. It is square. So that's the reason I shall add immediately the next step as squaring on both the sides. Squaring on both the sides. Once again, ratio, power, coefficient, dendo. Ratio known to us. We look at the question. The power given to a was b square. Question may arise. Sir, what if they have given a cube and b cube here? That is 2a cube and 2b cube. Instead of going for square, I'll go for cubing on both the sides. One more question might arise right now. Sir, is it possible that here they give square and here cube, or vice versa? Is it possible that a and b will have different degrees? Never ever. Nah, never. You have to have same degrees. Either square, cube, 4th power. I doubt they will go beyond that. No, they will not go. Right? So, we take squaring on both the sides. So, what is our answer? A square by b square is 25 by 9. Now, a square by b square is 25 by 9. A square by b square is 25 by 9. Once again, in this particular sum, I shall reiterate many number of times. Ratio, power, coefficient. Now look at what is the number associated with a square. It is 2. What is the number associated with b square? It is 3. A square it is 2, b square is it 3. So a square it is 2, b square is it is 3. So that's the reason I shall now say multiply by 2 by 3 on both the sides. Children, once again, ratio, power, coefficient, dendo. Ratio, power. Looking at the question. Coefficient. Coefficient was, with A it was 2, with B it is 3. So that's the reason. What makes me say that? Because when I say multiply 2 by 3 on both the sides, that means it is 2a square by 3b square. Rather saying 2 by 3 into a square by b square. When I say multiply 2 by 3 on both the sides, that means 2 by 3 into a square by b square. So it's 2a square upon 3b square. is equals to 2 by 3 into 25 by 9. 25 by 9. Now, what do I get? 2a square by 3b square is, anything if getting cancelled, we should cancel. Anything if getting cancelled, we should get cancelled, or rather we should reduce it. If nothing is getting cancelled, we cannot forcefully do it. 50 by 18. What next? Once again, look at the question. Now tell me what the question itself says. Don't you think so? Plus, above, minus, below. Plus, above, minus, below. Terms are same. Should we go for componendo, dividendo? Many must have gauged it. Componendo, dividendo. So by componendo, dividendo now. By componendo and dividendo. What shall I say? 2a square plus 3b square upon 2a square minus 3b square is 50 plus 18 upon 50 minus 18. 50 plus 18, children? 68. 50 minus 18, 32. Is further things getting cancelled, reduced? Yes, indeed. If you know higher order tables, you can. If you don't know, I say 4, 8 times 4, 17 times. I am left with 17 by 8. Therefore, my final answer, 2a square plus 3b square upon 2a square minus 3b square is 17 by 8. Is 17 by 8. I hope my children are getting it. Once again, ratio, power, coefficient, dendos. With a purpose, I gave this fourth sum. There is a purpose. There are two purposes mainly, actually. And that's the reason I've given you this particular sum. Let's start with that one. So what is that fourth one trying to say? The fourth one, I intend to find out 3a minus 2b upon 3a plus 2b. So if plus comes first, that is in the numerator, minus comes in the denominator, we say componendo dividendo. Many must have started saying, sir, if minus comes numerator and plus comes in the denominator, it should be dividendo componendo. Then many must have already gauged it, that we have something called as componendo dividendo with plus in the numerator and minus in the denominator. If minus is there in the numerator and plus is there in the denominator, there is something called as dividendo componendo. Children, keep this in mind. There is nothing such as dividendo componendo. There is nothing such as dividendo componendo. So all those who started thinking of dividendo componendo, I'm so sorry, you all are wrong. And those who started saying, no sir, there is some other way. Yes, there is. What is it? Let's check. But before I proceed further, what is the 4-point theory? The 4-point theory is ratio, power, coefficient, dendo. So we start with the same one. What is ratio? A by B is equals to 5 by 3. Then comes power. Ratio, power. There is no power, sir. There is no power. It's to the power 1. So children, henceforth remember, when we say ratio, power, coefficient, dendo, if power is not there, that means we have to skip it out. We will not take it. So after ratio comes direct coefficient. And after coefficient comes dendo. We shall skip this. But we will never alter our 4-point theory. Say, for an instance, in some other example, coefficient is not there. Then we shall take ratio, we shall take power, we shall skip out coefficient, and then applies dendo. Keep this in mind, children. Since there is no power, degree 1 is there. So I need to skip that. So what comes after ratio? Power, which we are skipping it out. Then comes coefficient. What is associated with A? 3. What is associated with B? 2. Forget about, as of now, forget about this plus and minus sign. Forget about it. Just check. What is the coefficient for A? 3. What is the coefficient for B? 2. So simply multiply by 3 by 2 on both the sides. Multiply by 3 by 2 on both the sides. When I multiply 3 by 2, 3a by 2b is 3 by 2 into 5 by 3. This 3 getting cancelled off, I am left with 5 by 2. That is 3a by 2b is 5 by 2. Ratio, power, which you have to skip out in this particular sum, coefficient, which we did, thereafter dendo. There is nothing such as dividendo componendo, but what I'm going to take is, since there is plus and minus both, so first go for componendo dividendo. By componendo dividendo, by componendo and dividendo, what will happen? 3a plus 2b upon 3a minus 2b is, we are supposed to take this one, which is 5 by 2. 5 plus 2 upon 5 minus 2, which on solving I get 7 by 3. If the fraction is getting reduced, we should. Children, is that what the question demanded from their side? They said 3a minus 2b upon 3a plus 2b. We are having 3a plus 2b in the denominator. We just want to swap them, and that can be done by invertendo. That can be done by invertendo. Dendos, that doesn't mean that we have to apply only one. We can apply n number of dendos. That means all 5. How many times you want? So by invertendo, right? This gets swapped up. 3a minus 2b, 3a plus 2b is 3 by 7. That's it. That's it. 3a minus 2b upon 3a plus 2b is 3 by 7. We got our answer by invertendo. We got our final answer by invertendo. So I hope my children are understanding what we have done. Right? Look at the question. The question itself will say everything to us. Look at the question and remember that 4-point theory: ratio, power, coefficient, dendos.